One of the things I find really fascinating is how often we don't take the time to notice how far we've come. We can be very good at criticizing ourselves for where we want to be and what we don't have yet, and that conversation about wanting more than we've got and expectations, and so we have that kind of forward focus, and we're good at doing that. And it's important about appreciating ourselves in the moment, but sometimes what we're really good at not doing is actually appreciating how far we've come. We all start from somewhere, and we can get into our groove, doing our thing, working on our projects, working on the issues we want to get past, or the challenges. And because we're doing it on a day-to-day or minute-by-minute or hour-by-hour basis, we forget to look back and say, wow, look how far I've come, look how much I've actually done over this period of time. And we can be really guilty of not just saying, well, I'm a great person, being positive thinking and affirmations in the present, but actually about the long distance since you started. Go back and recall maybe how you were 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, of where your mindset was, what you were doing, who you were spending time with, and just notice the difference that who you are now to that point, and whatever it may be. Maybe that's about a journey you've had to go on, a personal development one over the last 6 to 12 months or even longer. You can look back and say, wow, that's where I was then. And you respect that past, you respect that's who you were. It's not about saying you were wrong or in any form or different. It's simply saying, look, that's where I was at, but look where I am now. We get so caught up in the present and then there's small futures that we just need to take a time. I think it's really valuable we take the time and notice how far we come. And I think I'll give you two examples. Both of my personal history, but one is more relevant maybe. I remember, this is quite a few years ago, I was on holiday with my children. We had to cross a river, but a very shallow one. It was not calm water, but it was still going, and it was cold, and my daughter was a bit scared. So we stood on one of the shores, and I said, look, it's shallow, it won't go above your knees. We need to get across this to get the other side, to get our stuff or whatever. And it wasn't dangerous by any means, but she was nervous and she was worried. I said, well, look, just take my hand and just take it one step at a time. We're going to get through this, and it's just a point of just kind of walking. And you know how to walk, don't you? So it's simply one step, and if you don't feel happy, we can stop. So we did this, and as you can imagine, it took a bit of time, and she was slow and cautious and concerned, but every time I reassured her, holding her hand, that it was fine. And after a while of doing this, I asked her to stop in the water. And I said, now, turn around. And she did. And I said, look how far you've come. And you hadn't realized. You were focusing on the shoreline you were trying to get to. And that's important. But it's also important to stop, look back, and notice that you've actually come further than you imagined. And in fact, the distance you've now traveled is more than the distance you now have to travel to get to where you need to be. And that story, I think, really highlights the importance of reflection, not just in the last 24 hours or 7 days, but the years, the months even, where we need to acknowledge that where we were, was a journey starting, and where we are now is a part of that. And that perspective really deepens the appreciation, deepens that self-esteem, that self-confidence, which we sometimes lack. And the second story I was going to offer was about me, and it was that I'm now doing videos, as you know, and doing quite a few of them, as you know, on a weekday. But ask me 6 to 8 months ago if I could be doing these, and I'd be really nervous, really didn't think it'd be a good idea, and have lots of questions, lots of doubts, etc., etc. But look at me now. Now I will happily set up shop, create a video in a very short period of time, and I don't even think about that. That whole processing of the doubt, self-doubt, and the or the need to get everything perfect and right, that's all gone. That doesn't even exist anymore. I simply want to just do it as quickly as possible. In fact, the setup is now bothering me because it takes long, and I'm talking about it's a real simple setup here, but it takes longer than usual for me to do it. So I was going to get going and just talk to camera more and quicker. But that who I was say 8 months ago is just different. All those anxieties, concerns, worries, just don't exist. I just want to do this now. It's now I'm committed to doing it every day and getting something out there. And I need to look back at that person I was and say, wow, look how far I've come. Look how now effortlessly I try and do these. Look how much you know, how much you've learned, how much you've grown. I really invite you to do the same thing. Take a moment now. Take 2 minutes of your time and just think who I was 6 months ago. And notice the difference 12 months ago, maybe 2 years ago, where your mindset was at, what you were doing, what choices you were making. And if you're on a journey and you haven't got to where you want to get yet, take the time to appreciate that you've started and where you were before. Have that moment of reflection, like I gave my daughter as we crossed the river, to look back, notice how far you've come, and how far the next steps that you have to make aren't as maybe daunting as they were before. And in fact, that past helps to reinforce and strengthen you and empower you to complete the journey that you know you need to take. So I'd leave that with you, and have a fantastic day wherever you are.